My name is Al Pantoja. I'm a retired major from the United States Army and just retired in April of this year. And enjoying my time so far here at TCHS Junior ROTC program. Well, my time in the United States Army, basically I came in enlisted in 1985. I had a little bit of a break, went back to college, graduated from college, and I came back in, became an officer. And my last 11 years was an officer, and I was a logistics officer. Of course, in the United States Army, you get to see different parts of the world that you couldn't do on your own. So I've been to fun places like Hawaii and Alaska, and also some not such fun places to be, like Iraq and Kuwait and some of those Middle East countries that are kind of different.
My name is Chuck Ollinger. I was with the United States Army from 1986 to 1990. 1989, I was deployed to Panama as a part of Special Forces 1st Ranger Battalion Psychological Operations. Our mission was to capture Manuel Noriega. The mission was successful. Unfortunately, I got wounded and I received the Purple Heart here, and also received the Bronze Star. So that probably explains a lot to a lot of people because I got a piece of shrapnel still in my head. I don't regret any of it. I definitely would do it again.
I'm Coach Brown. I'm the wrestling coach, and I was in the U.S. Air Force from 1989 to the end of 1993. It was a great time. I think that when you look at the military, some people are cut out for the military, some are not. For me, it's the same way with college. When I went to college or made my first attempt at college, I wasn't ready to go. And was immature, and I realized that they didn't take attendance, and so I didn't really need to show up all the time. Mm-hmm. So I realized after the first semester that I didn't want to be there, I didn't want to waste my parents' money, so I joined the military. And it really made me grow up. I got to spend 4.5 years learning a job, seeing the world, spending time overseas. And then when I got out in December of '93, I was ready to go to college. And so then when I went off to college, I was able to graduate with my degree in 3 years because I was mature, I was ready to be there, I was paying for it and not somebody else. And so that made a huge difference. And so that's something that I would want the college students to realize is that not everybody's ready to go yet. You know, and so that's where the military can provide a great career, provide job opportunities and things like that. And so I think it's a wonderful place to start, you know, and for some it's a great place that they can make their career.
Well, initially, one of the few sacrifices that I had a problem that I actually faced in the Army was separation from my family. Initially, don't have any kids, don't have a wife, so you're pretty much on your own. So you had to pretty much create your own little family in the Army, which is not hard to do. But for the first few years, it was kind of a challenge to find your way around the Army and trying to know your job. So that was one of the few things. Also, once I actually received the family, but got married and had kids. Also separation, is a factor. The last 10, 11 years, the country's been in a war status, so deployed a few times, and you just kind of miss those things that you spend time with family, birthdays, anniversaries, and those kind of fun things, Christmas. So those are the challenges. Other than that, the Army was great, and just kind of enjoying retirement now.
I was lucky. We were in Gulf War I during my time in, and I did not have to go over. A lot of my friends went over, guys I wrestled with in the military went over, and so I didn't have to face all that many challenges and sacrifices. The challenges were living in new countries and things like that. I lived in South Korea. I got to go up to the demilitarized zone and look in a room where North Korea was on one side of the room and South Korea was on another side. And so I think that's a challenge. I think that's a sacrifice that we see that people made, But I was lucky. I didn't have to go off into the battlefield and things like that. like lots of other guys have had to. And so I was kind of lucky in my time.
If I had to do it all over again, I would definitely join the military. Again, the experience that I received from the military is really priceless. They train you well, they take care of you as a second family. So yes, I would definitely do it all over again. And maybe this time I would probably go to college early, finish my degree, and then come in as an officer initially instead of getting out of the Army, going back to school. But yes, I would definitely do it all over again.
I would. I think that the difference that I would have this time is I would join right out of high school.
Okay.
Because looking back at it, I would have gone in. I mean, it was one of those, my father had been in the military and then became a teacher and a coach. My uncles had been in the military and served in wartime, just like my dad had. And so my grandparents, my grandfathers had. And so it's one of those, that was a family thing that, because of the times men joined the military, and that was something that I see was a great thing for me, and I see the advantages that I got out of it. So yeah, I would definitely have jumped at the military sooner than I did, if I had my knowledge now, and I would do whatever I could to go overseas. I think anytime you get a chance to go overseas and see the world, it's an amazing experience, to see different places, different cultures and things like that. Veterans Day, I think you look back at these guys that have sacrificed, that they have taken their time to protect others, that whether they went off to war, they stayed at home, they're there, so that we can come to class. They're there to make sure that people have freedoms, and I kind of put Veterans Day and Memorial Day together because you look at the sacrifices, you look at the men we've lost, and things like that, and we need to recognize those people. We need to remember those people, whether they made it through or didn't make it through, and I think that that's an important thing, that we recognize the people that served our country, because not everybody does it, and they don't ask questions, they just do it, and I think that's a special trait, and I don't think we see that enough nowadays.
Veterans Day is special because it helps, it gives a more patriotic feel to things. It helps honor those who have died and those who have served. Like, my grandfather is a veteran and he likes to tell me war stories, and his favorite thing to do is to go to the Veterans Day festival that they have over in 5-Star. And he loves telling me why it's important that we have soldiers who fight, and it's important to honor people who have died, because if those people hadn't been there for us, we wouldn't have all the things that we have today. And it's very important and very patriotic. And if you don't like Veterans Day, that's just messed up.
We celebrate Veterans Day because it is a day to honor the people who sacrificed their lives for us, and to pretty much give thanks to them for caring and fighting for us.
To kind of pay our respects to the veterans.
I feel that veterans make a huge sacrifice by giving up their family, not seeing them a whole lot.
And they really uproot their lives to go and travel to other countries.
Pretty much all the important ones, the ones that normal people don't have the opportunity to make.
Such as?
What do we need to fight for, and how are we going to fight for that?